Hey, welcome back to part 5, the brief history of cannabis on this charming list. Just a note here from a revered figure here at the podcast headquarters, Patty Smith. She says, drugs are not really how one accesses the imagination. It can be a tool, but when that tool starts to master you, you'll lose touch with your craft. Well said, Patty. We love you. And just an FYI for you fellow film buffs, there is a short film from 2015, Le Club des Hashishins, directed by Theo Meow. Theo Meow? Teo Meow? Very interesting name. And also starring Lily Peppers. This is the entire description of the film. A couple have sex after reading a few pages of a novel. Okay. In 1842, Irish physician William Brooke O'Shaughnessy, who had studied the drug while working as a medical officer in Bengal with the East India Company, brought a quantity of cannabis with him on his return to Britain, provoking renewed interest in the West. Shout out to you, Britain lovely stoners. I'm a dork. Examples of classic literature of the period featuring cannabis include Le Paradis Artificiel, 1860 by Charles Baudelaire, who we spoke of in the previous part of this episode, and The Hashish Eater, 1857 by Fitzhugh Ludlow. Cannabis was criminalized, boo, in various countries, beginning in the 19th century. Thank you, industrial progress. Way to demonize a plant with ancient value beyond measure. The colonial government of Mauritius banned cannabis in 1840 over concerns on its effect on Indian indentured workers. The same occurred in Singapore in 1870. So wait, hold up. Indentured workers. WTF. When I look up the term, it says as followed: indentured servitude is a form of labor in which a person, an indenture, agrees to work without salary for a specific number of years through a contract for eventual compensation or debt repayment. So the pimps were getting pissy that these workers, who were quite clearly signing these contracts out of necessity or to better their lives, and they were using cannabis to soothe their misery and drudgery, so they made it illegal. That is insane. In the United States, the first restrictions on sale of cannabis came in 1906 in the District of Columbia. Canada criminalized cannabis in the Opium and the Narcotic Drug Act of 1923, before any reports of the use of the drug in Canada, but eventually legalized its consumption for recreational and medicinal purposes in 2018. Yes. In 1972, the Dutch government divided drugs into more and less dangerous categories, with cannabis being in the lesser category. Accordingly, possession of 30 grams or 1.1 ounces or less was made a misdemeanor. So don't be selfish and hoard that shiz. Cannabis has been available for recreational use in coffee shops since 1976. And as I said before, I cannot wait for the cafe movement to bloom in the US. Cannot wait. Simple possession can carry long prison terms in some countries, particularly in East Asia, where the sale of cannabis may lead to a sentence of life in prison or even execution. In November 2015, Uttarakhand became the first state of India to legalize the cultivation of hemp for industrial purposes. Usage within the Hindu and Buddhist cultures of the Indian subcontinent is common, with many street vendors in India openly selling products infused with cannabis, and traditional medical practitioners in Sri Lanka selling products infused with cannabis for recreational purposes and as well for religious celebrations. On the 17th of October 2015, Australian Health Minister Susan Ley presented a new law that will allow the cultivation of cannabis for scientific research and medical trials on patients. And that is really exciting, and I look forward to the medical breakthroughs that surely will come out of these trials, don't you think? Cannabis, ganja, grass, marijuana,